All right. Good morning. Here we go. 2 hour mega episode on the way. We're going to recap week 11 last week, and then we're going to get into this week's recap, week 12 as well. There's only one game left on the schedule. Everybody knows what the outcome is going to be. We're just waiting to see if some guy can get a dev, which he won't. But it's all good. So, hey, listen, you see the names. You see what it is. You like what you see. You want more of it. Hit that like and subscribe. Get up on that YouTube at Coach Aponte. You like it, let's get it. Follow me on Twitch. Subscribe on Twitch. Gas is $6. Blame Biden. I need that cash. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. 2 hours, mega episode. And we'll go as long as you guys want to go. I don't got practice till later. So let's get this thing. Starting off, Arizona, Indianapolis. They played their game. It desynced. There was a little bit of a bug in Madden, week 11. At the end of the day, Arizona won. So they ended up getting the force win out of the Colts. Good for Arizona. We'll get into them a little bit later on. Dallas was on vacation. Well, they're back now, so all the free wins in the NFC East, which may have been wins anyway, because Dub's not really playing that well. All the free wins are over. You got to earn the victories now. Giants get one here. Helps them out in the NFC East. New York Jets, New England. I don't even remember why these guys didn't play. Could have been the suspension or the loss because of a forced loss. Either way, none of this game don't matter really, which is a shame. But the Jets win this one. Big for their seventh seed hopes, which are starting to get darker and darker. So now, finally, we're into games that have actually been played. Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, keep the bus running. Gas too expensive. Green Bay 26-10. All the arrows towards Green Bay. Not a lot of turnovers here, right? So you see the Bears. They're a rushing team. They're not really good at passing. When that rush game gets shut down, they struggle big time. They only put up 10 points. 7 through 3 quarters. Packers defense, one of the best in the league. And the Packers just too much for them. A lot of third down conversions, keep the sticks going, keep the clock moving. Let's get into this game a little bit more. Daniel Jones, 211, 1-1. Once again, I don't think he's elite, Daniel Jones, but he's good enough for what the Packers want to do, which is run the football and play great defense and be a little bit more consistent than Fitzpatrick was, but clearly not as elite as Aaron Rodgers. 12-19, 63%, good enough for him to get the win. And then Justin Fields, an 81-yard bomb, that's the touchdown. That's all that pretty much came out of him in this game. The rest of it, 9-17, 50%, 52%, not good at all. Bears struggle. Randall Free AK. What in the world are we doing? And I want to say this is Springs. This was Springs. Springs is a good guy. He was still, even though he was a backup and not playing, he was like a high 80s. I think it was like 89 overall. Legally gets his name changed. He is now Randall Free AK. Kamara officially banned from FML for the rest of the cycle. He gone. And in homage to Alvin Kamara, rushes 23 times for 100 yards. Great, great troll. Kudos to you, Doc. That's a good one. Bears 10 for 34. In the rush game, they average about 4 yards a carry in between these guys. That's just not enough. Doc's defense too good. You got to find a different way to do something. Packers Galladay. We'll get it. Go ahead. We'll get into the Packers first. So here's something that is now going to be great for the Packers. Not so good for everybody else. Randall Free AK, okay, is going to. I don't know how I'm gonna keep a straight face with saying this name. Randall Free AK now only has 4 catches. If you thought that he was throwing into the backfield, so now we really gonna see what's up. Now let's see what's up, because I don't think Springs is a receiving back. Was it that Doc was using Kamara because Kamara was so good at receiving, which is completely great? Or is it don't matter what running back he has, he's going to spam it to the running back regardless, and now Randall Free AK is going to have, and he's going to lead the team in receptions from this point forward. Because at this moment, he's tied with 4, right? We're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to see if it was really hey man, it was Kamara, and that's the reason I had to throw it. Or if it's hey, it don't matter who I have at running back, we just going to keep throwing it to the running back regardless because that's our scheme, which is fine. Like I said, I don't disagree with it. I throw to my running back. He really good. What he does, that's on him. So Galladay 4 for 85, Randall Free AK with 4. A couple of the guys dig in a little bit, and they didn't really need to because they handled the Bears pretty easily. Tevin Caldwell 1 for 81 and a touchdown. That's the lone one big play. That was it. Look at everything else, though. Everything else not good. There's no deep threat. The Bears need to address this in the offseason. They're going to get the number 1 pick most likely. They haven't won a game yet. I can't believe that. I cannot believe how far Bus and the Bears have fallen off since going to an NFC championship game. And you could say that was because, hey, that was the first season he was playing. Nobody was really used to him yet. Didn't know what was going on. At this point, it looks like, the bus has run out of gas. They lose the game here, 26-10. Green Bay still moving their way into a fighting chance for the NFC North. Cleveland, Pittsburgh. This was a Cleveland win, right? Forced win. Doesn't matter why. This is what the result would have been anyway. Moving on. The 5 a.m. game. Oh, let's talk about it. The 5 a.m. game. Miami Dolphins, Atlanta Falcons. Played this game early, played around 5 o'clock. A lot of that because, and I want to say they're both West Coast. So why they're playing at 5 a.m. or whatever they're doing, I have no idea. But the Dolphins go ahead. They peel this one off. Look at the rushing yards for Atlanta. 28 rushing yards. There's no diversity in their attack. And this is something I've seen the Falcons play. They've been doing a lot more under center, trying to run the ball, the illusion of running the ball, play actions. But if you're only popping off 28 rushing yards a game, you might as well just get in shotgun 5 wide because no one's respecting your run. You can't run. And they lose a game 2017 with no turnovers. Let's go ahead and dig more into this. Deshaun Watson. Look at that. It's a good day for him. 282, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. 19 of 24. That's a great day. 79%. A shame they didn't score more points. And Sammy D, 351 yards in the air, 2-1. 69%. So quarterback-wise, they both do a good job. Deshaun Watson has a good day. The difference is this. Joe Mixon, 18 for 107. Snell, 10 for 21. Zero threat of the run game. It just seems like the Falcons can't get a run game going, and they get their obligatory 10 runs late in the games, and they don't put them together. You understand what I mean? So what's happening is, and I watched a little bit of the Falcons game this last week, what's happening is they just run, but there's no theory behind it. Like, 2nd and 1, I'm going to throw a play action. 2nd and 7, I'm going to run the ball, try to get to 3rd and short. It's just like the random run plays out of nowhere that don't really fit into the scheme or don't really fit into like any second-level thought process. And that's why it's 10 for 21, right? Brutal, but it is what it is. Moving on. Let's talk about this. Dolphins. Jeff Bomber with a G. Jeff with a G. 8 for 155. 2 touchdowns. Great game by him. You got Taj Allen, Waddle. I mean, Gesicki gets no action, but, they're able to peel off a win because Bomber has a big day, which is good. I mean, that Atlanta defense has a lot of holes in it. They give up a lot of yards. Falcons, Kyle Pitts. I mean, 8 for 162 and a touchdown. What a threat. I mean, it's a shame. Like I said, it's a shame they didn't score more points. I don't think the Dolphins have an intimidating defense. And it's a very strange, low-scoring game for not having a lot of turnovers. Unfortunate. It is what it is. The Falcons lose it 20-17. Let's just look at the time of possession here. I mean, pretty even. It's not that bad. A game like this where Mixon ran it 20 times, Snell only ran it 10, you'd think maybe be a little bit more, but Atlanta just cannot capitalize in the red zone 50%, both of them 50%. Um, if either of them would have done a better job in the red zone, they probably go ahead and they find a way to win the game. Kansas City, Las Vegas. Ocho and Matty Ice. Vegas has had the opportunity to wrap up their division, or not wrap it up, but put themselves in a way better spot these last couple weeks. They get blasted by Kansas City, unbelievably, 35-14. Ocho's offense really good, right? Kansas City tough to stop. Mahomes still the leader in passing yards, with a ton of weapons. And they still are able to run the ball for 108 yards. So I think that's one thing that people don't understand about Ocho is that not only can he air you out, all right, which everyone should be terrified of, okay, but he still finds a way to run the ball for about 100 a game, right? So you can't just drop 8 the entire game and think that you're going to stop him because he will find a way to run the ball and get those first downs. But wow, the defense of Ocho to hold the Raiders to 75 passing yards. Very, very not Raider-esque here with Ryan Leaf. Let's go ahead and take a peek here, a little deeper in here and see what's going on. Patty Mahomes, 364, 4-2. Listen, you know that Mahomes is going to throw some picks because he lets them fly. But man, 4 touchdowns in the air, 19 of 29. Great game for him. Looks like Ryan Leaf has fallen off. He's starting to get into that slump. And it's one thing, listen, to start hot, feel really good about yourself, how you're doing. It's another thing to play great for the entire season. He is starting to struggle now. He's 9 of 19, 47%, no touchdowns, and an interception. Gets sacked 3 times. Russian-wise, Aaron Jones, 11 for 145, controls the running game as far as yards per average, but it's Benson who chews these guys up on the ground. 19 for 89 at 4.5, a little over 4.5 a pop. If you ask me, who would I rather have? I'd rather have Benson than Jones because Benson's controlling the game. Yes, Aaron Jones has more runs, less runs for more yards per average, but, I don't know how much of that. And one run was 75 yards. So you take that away, and he's somewhere in the 10 for 75 or whatever, 10 for 60, something like that. Not as impressed. So one big long run, give me Benson on that. Receiving wise, the Chiefs. And man, look at the Chiefs. Look at what he's done. He's got McMoney. Kobe McMoney. He's got Tyreek Hill. So you got to respect Hill. You got to respect McMoney. Isabella coming alive. He's been in the league for 6 years. He's really fast. We don't know who this dude is. We don't care. Benjamin McMoney. Really good. So, he's replaced Hardman. He's replaced some of these other guys. McMoney's his guy. The Chiefs' offense is just too much. It really is. Let's go to the Raiders. Ruggs with 1 catch. Waller with 2 catches. 22 yards, 20 yards. This is tough. This is really tough. I don't know how you can beat anybody with this kind of production from your superstars. Your best guy was MVS here, and MVS is a complimentary receiver. He's complimentary. He's not the guy that's supposed to be out there getting you 8 catches a game, 100-something yards. I'm not saying that he can't, but on a day-to-day basis, it's got to be Ruggs, it's got to be Waller, and that tandem. How the Chiefs shut that down, I don't know. This is baffling to me. Not that Kansas City can score points. That is not baffling. They're amazing. What's baffling to me is that the Raiders are imploding in the AFC West with a chance to really separate themselves in division, and they have now opened the door up for Kansas City and the Chargers. Kansas City wins this one convincingly, 35-14. Tough loss for the Raiders. Big one for Kansas City. Let's keep going. Detroit, Cincinnati, Debo the Gamer. And let's just go ahead and talk about it real quick. 17-3 at the half. Cruise on to win at 24-10. Not a lot of offense here from the Bengals. They're not really an offensive team, but they go ahead and force 3 turnovers. That's usually the difference. That's what he wants to do. Battle of bad quarterbacks. David Cummings, he wins the duel here in the battle of the bad. 226, 1-1, right? 13-20 for 65%. And Matt Stone, listen, he throws the ball 33 times, which is great. It's because they were losing, right? They were down. But 3 interceptions. Both of these guys just unable to really take control of the quarterback position in a positive way. They're back there getting the snap and throwing the ball, but their jobs should not be secure moving forward. They're really bad. Russian wise, Naheem Hines, 8 for 42. Betts with a little 13 for 38. Neither of them really run that well. Good job. Zach Harris gets a couple of carries. Like I said, this wasn't really an offensive game. It was more about defense. Bengals, T. Higgins, Corin Neighbors. A few guys go ahead. They pitch in. I just think that David Cummings, he needs maybe one more weapon somewhere. He needs one more weapon somewhere. Neighbors, a legit weapon. T. Higgins, he's a legit weapon. Tyler Boyd, a little bit older. Cooper Kupp, way older. He's going to need to get somebody else in that offseason or a better quarterback, because this is just the Bengals they live on defense alone, and it's not going to be able to sustain for the rest of the season. Juju Smith-Schuster, 686 with a touchdown. Hawkinson, Crowther, Michael Thomas only gets one, but spreads it around. But it doesn't matter when your quarterback's throwing the ball 3 times to the other team. You're just not going to win a lot of games. Cincinnati wins this one, still has them in third place in the AFC North, fighting for a 7th seed. Detroit still in the bottom. They're fighting for a top 5 draft selection. Let's go. Moving on. Philly, Seattle. Philly does it again, man. Philly does it again. Listen, Philly losing 14-13 going into the fourth. Find a way to win it 28-21, scoring 15 in the fourth quarter. Philadelphia has found a way to just win ball games. And they'll win them ugly. They'll win them pretty sometimes too, but they are winning games ugly. They're doing it with good defense and consistent offense. So you look at the game itself. I mean, they're pretty even here, except for the 2 turnovers by Seattle. The 2 turnovers proved to be the difference. Aaron Rodgers here with another great day. 1 touchdown, no interceptions. 14-20, 70%. The problem is you got Russell Wilson, live and die by Russ, right? 28. He's 21-28, 75%. That's great. 2 interceptions though. So you're giving Russ a lot of opportunity. You're making a lot of good reads, but you're just a couple short of really putting together a great game. Josh Jacobs, 15 for 48. Average only 3 on the ground. Marlon Mack got his obligatory 10, right? 10 for 47. And then Odom, he also got 10. So the Eagles run this ball over 25 times to Mack's 10, and they just take control of the game. That's able to get them back into it, keeps their defense off the field, and Russell Wilson off the field, who's their best player. Eagles, Quez Watkins with a bomb, 1 for 74. I want to say the Eagles do a great job with their receiving core and the tight end Travis Kelce, who they acquired a season ago. Everybody digs in. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has enough weapons here where if you go ahead and put everybody in the box against Jacobs, he can distribute it well, and he's doing that. Seahawks, DJ Metcalf, the only bright spot in the receiving core, any skill player. Tyler Lockett, getting old. He's 10 years in, right? Gerald Everett, 8 years in. They need an influx of talent, young talent. They need it quick. I do think that Seattle, with an early top 5 probably draft pick or top 10 draft pick, should be able to bring an offensive weapon to the table here, because their running backs, Marlon Mack is not explosive, even though he doesn't run the ball, so maybe he shouldn't get a running back. You got to get another receiver to pair with DK, because you clearly want to throw the ball, so you might as well get yourself another receiver. Final score 28-21. An amazing job, a great job by them. Philly continuing to win, being on top of the NFC East. This is no longer a race up top. We'll get into the standings later on in the show, but this is no longer a race in the NFC East. This is the Eagles' division to lose. The rest of those guys are fighting for a playoff spot or a wild card spot. Here we go. Ooh, my goodness, the BFF Bowl, right? The San Francisco 49ers and the Houston Texans. The BFF Bowl / the Violation Bowl. These guys, they're committing violations left and right. They don't report each other, though. So it is what it is. 547 yards of offense for the 49ers. I mean, and we've said this. The 49ers are an offensive team. He's got Trey Lance, George Kittle, a couple really good receivers. He has tons of weapons. He's just defensively inept. He doesn't understand defense. I don't understand that because he played some defense in high school. I know this. He don't understand. Apparently he wasn't paying attention. He was too busy partying, having a great time, living the high school life. I ain't mad at him. I'm just saying, holy moly. Okay? 41-34. Mancha, with his Quan Alexander defense, just gets completely shredded. They both turned the ball over twice. It was a wild, furious fourth quarter. I did end up seeing the end of this game. Mancha with all-out blitzes at the end. Rebel caught him. Ended up getting it down to about the 5-yard line. He could have scored a touchdown. He gave himself up, and then he finished the game that way, scoring later. Trey Lance, much better than Steinbach. Steinbach 17-25, 68. Trey Lance at 75%. I mean, Trey Lance, even in Rebels' hands, is a dangerous dude. Steinbach, probably in anybody's hands, except for maybe one or two people in this league, is just a bum. He's no good. Russian-wise, here we go. We got Najee Harris, 12 for 68. Sanders, 16 for 60. Trey Lance, 7 to 63 for, right? That's him getting out of the pocket, breaking the pocket, sending 4 verts deep, and then running out of the pocket. Right? This is something that Rebel does. He loves to send 4 verts and then just run out of the pocket and see if he can get some yards. He even says that he does it. He'll count to 3 Mississippi, and then he's taking off. But this is a passing game. Let's go ahead and dig into it. 49ers, Jerry Rice Jr., Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Miles Sanders. I mean, The only person who didn't get any was T.O. Jr., and I'm sure he was heated. But a lot of guys here catching the ball, making big plays. The Texans just don't have the same ability. I mean, why is your leading receiver Antoine Elliott? Why? What about Harvey Harrison? He's the best guy, and maybe not anymore, but you've got Harvey Harrison, you got Gallup here. Harvey Harrison, probably one of the best receivers in the entire AFC. And you're giving it to Antoine Elliott. The 49ers have a horrible secondary. It's pretty much me and a couple other guys back there playing DB, so should have been an easy game for Harrison. It's not. I'm going to attribute that to these guys both playing each other quite a bit, knowing each other's tendencies. And number 2, just Mancha not really having the pieces he needs. The history about Mancha is simple. When he has a good team, whether that he has already inherited or constructed, he plays well, he's in the chat, he's feeling good about himself. When he's not, god-awful, this is what you're looking at. The Texans are in a division where they should easily – in a division in the AFC South and in a conference, the AFC, where they should at least be able to be in the conference for 7th seed every year. How that's not happening this season, crazy. Final score, 41-34 in the BFF Bowl. Rebel gets this one and bragging rights. Good for San Francisco. But both of you guys, no playoffs for you. Meet each other at the NFL draft. You'll both be in the top 10, 15. man, the LA Shelbys, and the Washington Commanders. We all got to get used to calling them the Commanders. And this is another game where the Commanders, both teams play great defense, but because the Commanders can't score, Taco doesn't understand offense. He only understands how to run the football and throw it deep. There is nothing else going on there in the Commanders. The OC should be fired immediately. 13 points, and we joke about this. Hey, first one to 13 wins. Well, it was the Shelbys that get to 17 first. They win it, and this is with Taco playing good defense, right? The Chargers only scored, or they only gained 178 yards of offense, right? And they still were able to win. They only had 5 first downs. They were still able to win. Unbelievable. We know that Beast plays good defense as well. We know that, right? But where is the offensive output from Washington? They don't have any. This has just been such a horrible trend to see go unfixed. Even with so much of trading Scary Terry, their deep threat. This is just brutal to watch. Washington falling down in the NFC East, knowing that Washington is was a big celebrity. I think he let fame go to his head. He had a brand new show, Pick Six. He was out there. He was getting the love. He was feeling so good about it. Next thing you know, he starts waking up next to ladies. He starts drinking Cavassier at 9 in the morning instead of grinding. He not out here grinding like UFR. UFR out here grinding every week. 2-hour mega episodes. Pick Six got too big, too fast. Some people can't handle all that attention. And now you see Washington, they're just imploding. They're over it. They're ready to move on to the next cycle. It is what it is. Can the LA Chargers win this one 17-13? Let's get more into it. Justin Herbert, 137 in the air, 2-1, 8 of 12. So that's it. Listen, this is what I've been talking about for Justin Herbert. This is where he needs to be because this is the kind of guy he is under the offensive coordinator of the LA Chargers. He's a manager. Hand the ball off to Shelby, throw it to Shelby, throw it to somebody else. But hey, you are not the guy that's going to go ahead and extend plays, extend drives, and make these game-winning plays for us. It's just not it. The system just doesn't make it happen. Tua, 15 of 28, 53%. One touchdown, 2 interceptions. And I tell you, I don't know. Tua being a lefty, Tua being Tua, does it matter who has Tua? So, for example, could I take Tua and make him a better quarterback? Or is Tua just doomed, right? Who else is good with quarterbacks? Whoever else is really good with quarterbacks. I don't know. Whoever else is really good, right? Ocho. Ocho's got Mahomes out here. Or no. Let's go Malibu. Malibu's like, 35-6 touchdown interceptions. Boogie, if you look at his touchdown interceptions, he's like 30-2 or 30-4, something absurd. Could he take Tua? Could any of us take Tua and make him better? Or is Tua just doomed on Madden to just be god-awful? In which case, it's like, Taco, why would you trade for Tua? He god-awful. Tua with 2 turnovers, loses the game for him. Defensive battle here in the trenches, man. Nobody can run. Shelby and Buck both running against a brick wall. It's too much for them, so they got to go to the air. And then when you go to the air, you got to give the advantage then to the Chargers. Shelby, 2 for 81. Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, the rookie tight end. But Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Shelby are much better than Asher Adams. That's his name. Asher Adams. Get that boy some lotion. 4 for 113. Diami Brown, 4 for 46. He's completely disappeared from Washington. I forgot that Washington had him. They've had him the whole time. Smash Williams, Mark Andrews. Machine Muhammad Jr. They're not doing it. Ragnar's completely fallen off the map. There's just nobody here. If Asher Adams is your guy, you're in big trouble. So, the football team just doesn't have any weapons. Their running back situation is not really great. They just can't score. They can't score. And this has been Washington's thing the whole time. 17-13 to the Chargers. Listen, the Chargers winning a huge game. He's been hurt, just got back. Who's been hurt? Tell me, Taco. Who's been hurt? Ashley Adams? Is Ashley Adams down? Is he the one that's hurt? We want to know. Because the only thing that I see here is I think your offensive coordinator's been hurt mentally. I think he's drinking instead of doing practice plans. I think your OC's out there. He's rethinking life. Your OC needs to be fired immediately. I know you agree with me on that. We got to get rid of him. Listen, look at me, Taco. Taco, look at me. We need to do something about that offense of yours, because you are OG. All right? And I can't stand to watch you and your offense be like this. It bothers me deeply. Come see me later. Okay? Don't go to John. I know that's your guy. I know that's your best friend. I know you guys have, steak and lobster under the stars. I understand it. But I'm the guy that's going to help you. I'm going to help you. Get at me. All right. Here we go. So moving forward. Next game. Oh, Lordy. Jacksonville, Denver. Let's not spend too much time on this game. My goodness. 26-7 at half, and then 40-7 going into the fourth. A complete beatdown here. They forced 4 turnovers. Too much offense, too much defense. Let's give some. Oh my goodness, Zach Wilson. If there was an extra dev above X Factor, Zach Wilson would have it already. He'd be triple X Factor. He'd be triple X Factor, Zach Wilson. Because y'all be giving this guy oh my goodness, 18-21 for 85%. Everything he throws is money. 322, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Right? The quarterback situation here in Denver is just god-awful. Look, it doesn't matter who you put under center. They're both literally almost identical. 5-12, 6-15, 41-40%. Right? One guy 1 of 1, one guy 1 of 3, 70-95 yards. I mean, they're both the same. There is a problem here in Denver. They're trying anything, but it's not looking good. Jacksonville, Travis Etienne doesn't need to run the ball. 15-37, he says, Zach, get your money. Triple X. Go ahead, get your money. Michael Carter, 10 for 37. Let's go to the receiving here, man. They air it out on these people. Broncos, nobody cares. No, we're not even good. Oh, Jerry Jeudy. Top 5 route running in the league. Listen. John, look at me. Bro, I know you watch sports. I do. I know you like sports. I get it. But, bro, you be talking reckless about some of these dudes. Jerry Jeudy, not a top 5 route runner. He not a top 5 nothing. Now, you better hope that Russell Wilson can help that dude be a better player now. Get some timing with Russell Wilson. And maybe Jerry Jeudy can become a top 10 dude somewhere. But right now, come on, bro. Come on, man. He route running, doing what, the cha-cha by himself? Because he ain't got enough stats. He ain't got the ball. He ain't had no quarterback to get him the ball. This guy said top 5. Listen. Look at me. Y'all need to chill with talking reckless, bro. You got to stop. Jerry Jeudy, not top 5 in anything. He might not even be a top 5 receiver on the Broncos. Next. Here we go. Jaguars. Greg Beast, 6 for 105, 1 a touchdown. DJ Chark, 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. That's all he does is catch touchdowns. DJ Chark is the Chris Carter for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Every ball he catches a touchdown. This is insane. Amazing. DJ Cyborg, 609. The NTN chips in. Hamler just sitting on the bench now because he can't get no action because, Beast has a big game here. Final score, 43-13. Jacksonville mauls Denver. Minnesota, Tampa Bay. This is a big game here. This is a big game for playoff seeding. Give me 1 second. Big game here for playoff seeding here. Um, Number one, Tampa Bay now trying to keep pace with the Carolina Panthers to be atop their division with the wins and losses. And Minnesota trying to stay ahead of the Packers now that they've got a couple things that have gone their way, right? They've had a couple breaks. You know, you got the Kamara problem. You got the Packers have dropped a couple of games that they probably shouldn't have dropped because it's regular season. The Packers are very um, a lot more liberal in their play style in the regular season. They're going to trust me when I tell you the Packers are going to button it up in the playoffs. Hey, I don't care what seed they are. They're going to button up on somebody. They're going to do them dirty, knock them out quick. If the other team isn't prepared. But let's go ahead and get into this. Looks good. Tampa, they win a lot of the arrows. They got a lot of yards. The only arrow that matters, 4 turnovers for Tampa. Only one for Minnesota. Minnesota with great defense. First half was super tight, 17-16, but then Minnesota pulls away in the second half, outscoring them 18-7 to win it 34-24. Let's get a little more into it. Jordan Love. Listen, you're going to win but with Jordan Love, you're going to lose with Jordan Love. 3 touchdowns for Jordan Love, but 4 interceptions. You got to put this on his shoulders. Jordan Love is just too inconsistent. 18-26 for 69%. Good defense, though. I mean, Kellen Mond, really, he had an amazing, and I mean amazing rookie season. Nobody knew how Mond was going to come into the league. He came in hair on fire, and he is really just chilled out. He's really become now more of a game manager and more of a guy that's not as consistent as you thought he would be after his rookie campaign. He's at 50%, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 200 yards. Nothing to write home about, but he doesn't lose the game for Minnesota like Love loses the game for the Buccaneers. Let's get on the run game. Dalvin Cook, 14-52. Ronald Jones, 12 of 41. Good old Thad Castle was out for the game. He'll be back later. But Dalvin Cook gets enough done. He's been on the bench for a bit. I believe this was like his first start in quite some time. Took him a little bit to get cooking. Not bad. Buccaneers, Godwin, the speedster, 6 for 162, 2 touchdowns. Godwin is the guy. Ronald Jones, 5. O.J. Howard, Ayuk, Duvernay, 1 touchdown for 2 yards. But, this season, this team is all about Godwin, Jones, Howard. That's it. Duvernay and Ayuk are just window dressing on the side. You got to find a way to take care of these guys. If you don't, they're going to be able to throw all over the place. Vikings, Dalvin Cook, 3 for 101. And that's a difference here. You've got Dalvin Cook, who is great in the run game. But out of the backfield, he might be even better. He's even more dangerous out of the backfield. And Thad Castle doesn't really bring that to the table like Dalvin Cook does. So the Vikings, who haven't really been, a potent, huge offense, they are better with Dalvin Cook. Jaden Collins, the rookie with a few. Michael Baker. Justin Jefferson, 1 for 18. There's some reports out here that Justin Jefferson, he might be getting traded to another NFC contender in the offseason. Not really sure what's going to happen. We'll see, but there's some talks about it. Because right now, 1 for 18 for Justin Jefferson, he's not really getting used. You might as well get a haul for him, see what you can do, right? Minnesota wins the game 34-24. Tampa in a little bit of trouble as far as winning the NFC South goes, but still in a good spot for the playoffs. Woo! Baltimore and Buffalo. It was a big game, and Baltimore came out on top, 35-28. I believe that it was a restart, so these stats don't really matter. We're not going to get into it, but it was Baltimore who was able to win the game. They had to finish a little bit more because of a desync or whatever it was. We had a little problem with desync. Baltimore came out on top with the win against the Bills. That's good for Baltimore. That puts them still as the 5th seed for the wild card because the Browns are going to win that division. Buffalo loses the game. That'll probably make them the 4 seed. Most likely, this will be the rematch. There will be a rematch here in the first round of the playoffs. Can't wait to see how that turns out. Thursday night game, prime time. The Rams and the Panthers. Rams were coming in at 8-1. I believe the Panthers were 7-2 at the time. The Panthers just dominate the game with great defense. Great defense, which was able to therefore turn it into some offense. Panthers create 4 turnovers from a team that usually is able to, have their way offensively. Rams are coming in averaging over 30 points a game. Panthers just were able to put together a great game plan to shut it down. They win the game 29-14. Let's dig into it. Mac Jones, 265 in the air, no touchdowns, but no interceptions. And we'll take that, right? That's decent quarterback play. 17-22 for 72%. On the other hand, Dak Prescott, who's been having an amazing season, a tremendous season, he struggles in this game. 203 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. 12 of 23 for 52%. Dak Prescott, just even from the beginning of the game, he struggled against a lot of these Carolina looks defensively, man and zone. He struggled through some really bad balls, and Carolina made him pay. Let's get into the rushing. McCaffrey, 25 for 48. Corum, 11 of 37. Listen, the Rams' run defense is solid. They're really good. But the Carolina Panthers are going to keep pounding, right? We're trying to see if you can get pounded. They're going to keep pounding, okay? Carolina, CMC, listen, they're trying to throw, they're trying to run, they're trying to do it all. You can't abandon the run game. That's just my mind. You can't abandon the run game, especially when you're playing really good defense. We were able to go ahead, move the sticks a couple times, but a lot of the runs were in vain because that Rams front seven is really good. But the bigger thing is Blake Corum, who's been crushing people in the run game. I mean, he's been crushing them. Super fast, super good running back, 11 of 37 for 3.4. It was a great defensive effort from the Panthers defense to shut down Corum, which led to Prescott throwing some balls he didn't want to throw. Receiving wise, let's go with the Panthers first. Tommy Tremble, 5 for 100. DJ Moore, 4 for 62. McCaffrey, 5 for 51. Anderson, he's a little bit older. He's the next factor. He's still 95 speed, but, some other guys they got to step up knowing that Robbie Anderson is on the brink of retirement, at least with the Panthers. And then Luke Cage, rookie, gets 1 for 21. Let's look at the Rams. The tight end was their leading receiver, 4 for 97. And here's where, of course, all the attention should be. Rashad Bateman, Michael Estrada, Chisna, right? All these guys, Tutu. All these receivers here are very dangerous. They've had some great seasons. The Panthers put together a good enough game plan where Jacob Harris is able to get a couple good balls, gets a touchdown. Everybody else struggled. Final score, 29-14. The Panthers win this game. What this game does here for Carolina keeps them in the driver's seat in the NFC South and gets them one step closer in the seeding to probably the 2 seed. Like I said, Philly's not losing. How are we going to catch Philly if they don't lose? We can't, because we don't play Philly this year. So, right now, we're probably looking at the 2 seed. Maybe the 3 if we slip a couple games. We still got a couple games left against some tough guys. But, that's the 2 seed right here that we've got in a really good spot. We shouldn't drop any more than the 3rd. And that's just we can play in the 7 seed and a 6 seed. And 6 seed, in the NFC could be somebody still really, really good. So 29-14, the Rams, they're still on top of their division. They're not a problem. Rams and the Panthers fighting for the 2-3 seed, right? They're with me fighting for it. This win head up gives us the advantage in the 2 seed. So we'll see what happens. Moving on. So that is the Week 11 recap. All right? That is the whole thing right there. It is a wild week. So some upsets right there. I mean, you've got Carolina beating the Rams. You've got the Chargers beating Washington. Maybe that's not an upset, but I mean, I still can't believe how Washington can't score offensively. Biggest game, Kansas City and Vegas. Wow, that's a tough one. Head scratcher. So, here we go. Hey, we're going to keep this thing going. Week 12 this week, right now. Here's what's going to happen. Listen, we're going to take a little, about 3 to 4 minute break. We're going to re-top off on a beverage. All right? We're going to put on a little nice music for you. Stream is staying on. We're going to be back here in about 3 to 4 minutes, and we're going to keep going. 1 more hour. This is what the people want. It's what they need. I'll be right back. Here we go. We're back. Like I said, we are back. Took a little bit of a break. We had to refill up on the beverage. Listen, this episode brought to you by Rockstar Grape. You like that grape flavor? Get some Rockstar. Have some grape. Week 12 recap. That is this current week. There's only one game left. That game doesn't matter. Why we're waiting for it, I have no idea. It is what it is. Let's dig into this week. Houston, Indianapolis. The Houston Texans in an AFC South matchup win this thing. They go tied into the fourth quarter, right? 21-21, but the Texans find a way to win the game, 27-24, outscoring them. Great defensive effort by the Texans. The Colts offense is just really not potent. They rely on their defense as well. The Texans just do it better right here. They win it 27-24. Let's get a little bit closer and see what's going on here. Jeremy Cook, 172, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 13 of 16 at 81%. You know, and that's because he's very careful, right? He's very careful. The Colts are very methodical when they try to move the ball. A lot of West Coast offense is what we call them. We call them West Coast offense, right? He's not taking a lot of deep shots. If he does, he needs to be 100% sure that it's going to be open. So it's a West Coast offense. It's very methodical. That's why he struggles with a lot of points and a lot of touchdowns. Steinbeck, on the other hand, he gonna let it fly. He gonna let it rip. He don't really care, even when he's throwing interceptions. They got 300 in the air, 2-1 at 70%. Let's go to the rushing. Both of these guys, good rush defense. I mean, both running backs average about 4 a carry, which is fine. That's good, but they don't give up the big plays, the big runs. They make these guys grind for it and work for it. Najee Harris, 2087. Jonathan Taylor, 14-60 with 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor leading the league in rushing touchdowns by a lot. If you didn't know, now you know, right? And that was Asian who, in his articles, and man, if you're ever able to read those articles, very in depth. They tell the truth about you. They tell the truth. You don't like it, you get in your feelings. Oh well, be better. Let's look at the Colts receiving core. Corey Davis. I mean, all these guys, no good. They're not a passing team. They're a rushing team and a defensive team. Harvey Harrison, 1 week, nothing. The next week, 8 for 121 and a touchdown. So Harvey Harrison doesn't get off against a 49ers defense that has 0 DBs, right? He can't play against them, but somehow against a better defensive team, he gets 8 for 121, right? You got to just force feed Harvey and get him more opportunity. Antoine, back-to-back good games for him. As is JT Owens. And the Texans, they win this game in the South. It doesn't matter. Neither of these teams are playoff teams. Mancha's not good enough and consistent enough right now at this moment to rattle off the rest of the season and run the table. He's not going to make the playoffs, and neither will Indianapolis. It's only Jacksonville that will come out of this division. Vikings football team. All these guys, no good. BD, he sees what it is. All these guys, no good. They struggling. Let's dig into it. The Vikings, Washington. Washington finally gets a little bit of offense going, but it's not enough. The defense lets them down. Washington so inconsistent in how they're playing this cycle and in their games. And listen, we understand what it is. He is in the middle of his living room trying to play Madden with a magic staff and a wizard cap. You can't do that. You got to be locked in. He's not locked in. They lose at 35-26. 2 turnovers from Washington. Let's get more into it. Kellen Mond. My goodness. The last week he goes 1 of 1. Doesn't really do a lot. He's 50%. This week against, in my opinion, a better defense, right? 293, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 14 of 15. This guy's throwing bombs out here. Might as well have been handoffs. Ball doesn't touch the ground. It's a great job by Mond. A horrible job by the defense. I don't know what's going on here. Tua with his normal 2 touchdowns and a pick, right? He doesn't play a clean game. He's always turning the ball over. 64%. The Minnesota defense, if you throw them any interception, they are going to take advantage. Probably turn into points. Thad Castle's back. He was out for a week. He comes back, starts off 16 of 61. Tough sledding. Both of these guys with good run defenses. Really good run defenses, right? So the run game's not really where all the money was made. Let's get into the passing game then. Asher Adams, 8 for 153. Another big game for him. 2 touchdowns. I believe the Washington Commanders, management and coaching staff has informed us that he is now a superstar dev. And you know what that means for Washington? Absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Just give him X factor. You're still struggling to score points. It doesn't matter. You gave away Scary Terry. You got Asher Adams. I'm glad he's a superstar. I hope that this will equal better play offensively for the Commanders because there should be a playoff team every cycle or every season. They're struggling right now. Big games coming up for them to see if they're going to be able to get that 6-7 seed or if they're going to be bounced. Diami Brown, I guess he was out for like 7 weeks. Holy moly. I don't even want to know what kind of injury that was. Mark Andrews, he's probably got to get targeted more. 3 for 27. He's only 7th year in here. He should be targeted a little bit more. Vikings, Jaden Collins, 6 for 118 and a touchdown. Jonnu Smith, great tight end over here. Great acquisition. Another tight end. Dalvin Cook, but here we go with Justin Jefferson. No catches, no yards. Like I said, big trade rumors going on here between the Minnesota Vikings and another NFC Super Bowl contender, which could get Justin Jefferson on the move to a different city in the offseason. We'll see what happens here, but Justin Jefferson here, he had 1 catch last week. He has no catches this week. Might as well upgrade then at a different position. Minnesota 35, Washington 26. Another big win for Minnesota here. Minnesota keeping pace with these wins with the Packers staying ahead. If Minnesota can win the division, that'll put them probably in the 3 to 4 seed, depending on the Rams and the Panthers and how they go. The Packers, if they drop down, they're going to be around probably the 5 or 6. So not sure how it's going to happen. Could see a Minnesota and Green Bay rematch. They've already split their series in the wild card round. No idea, and it doesn't matter if the Packers win the division and Minnesota comes in second, they'll still be 4-5. So I don't think there's any manipulation here of wins and losses. They're probably going to run into each other again down the line. Final score 35-26. Minnesota wins it. Washington in big trouble. Baltimore, New England. Wow. I mean, Baltimore sometimes toys with their food. They're up 27-14 at the end of the first half. They got to feel really good about themselves. But they turn the ball over 2 times, and the Patriots take advantage. They have a chance to win. The Patriots do. It's just not enough. Great job by Jermichael Peck, the rookie quarterback. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 300 in the air, 17-25. I mean, that's a great day. And listen, that quarterback play puts them in a spot to win against a really, really tough playoff team, Super Bowl contender. Lamar Jackson, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Really good for him, but he's, very tough. Can't toy with your food. Barkley, 19 rushes for 32 yards. They struggle on the ground. And this is Barkley. If you can't get Barkley involved more in the ground game and open things up, you're going to struggle. I think that Barkley needs to continue to get more involved and be more successful in the run game. 19 for 32 is tough. Patterson, New England, 10 for 45. He only gets 4.5 a carry. They were down early in the first half, so I understand why they only ran it so many times. Unfortunately, they weren't able to go ahead and capitalize and run a little bit more. A.J. Brown, I've been screaming. I know you watched the show. That's what's going on here in New England. I know you're paying attention. I know you're watching the show. Get your best players involved. A.J. Brown, 4 for 154, 2 touchdowns. And all of a sudden, because you get your best player involved, look what happens. Now you're playing with the Super Bowl winner, a playoff contender, Super Bowl contender. You got to continue to get him involved. We'd love to see New England have some more success, especially in the AFC East, where that division is attainable. It is attainable. Rashad Patterson, the rookie, 6 for 65. Patterson was doing an amazing job of catching the ball in the backfield in the first half of the season. When it got to week 9, though, he was not the leading receiver, but he looks back on pace to continue to contribute well. Julio only gets out of his wheelchair pregame, warms up, plays the game, goes right back in his wheelchair. This guy been in the league 14 years. It's a tough one for him, but he contributes 3 for 32. Patriots, biggest thing, A.J. Brown. Jamar Chase, my goodness. Mecole Hardman. Oh, my goodness. There is no answer here. The way that Baltimore is playing with Jamar Chase and the things he's doing is beyond record level. It's beyond record level. He's about to break every receiving record single season you could think of. This guy is crazy. 7 for 202, 3 touchdowns. Mecole Hardman with all that speed, 6 for 139. Like I say, he signed an extension. They were going to deal Mecole. Deal almost got done. A deal almost got done. 6 for 139, 2 touchdowns, though. That's a big one for Baltimore to keep Mecole Hardman right there. Because his speed unmatched on the field. Barkley digs in. He can't get anything in the run game. Gets to go into the pass game. Final score, 36-34. Listen, good morale victory for New England. I hope that they learn from this game and they can move forward and change and get A.J. Brown more involved. Baltimore, I hope this is a wake-up call for you that if you're not locked in against everybody, you could take a L. Everybody needs that kind of game. Baltimore winning right now, 36-34. Cardinals-Packers. Packers is going to take the win. Force win because Kuzi is tanking. Okay? What else do you want me to say? What else do you want me to say? No. Do I think the Packers would probably win this game? They probably would. But why not play it? This is a long advance, too. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 3 days. You couldn't get it in? Unbelievable. Kuzi clearly tanking. I don't know what else to say. It's unfortunate because he's a better user. He's a good guy. But also with him, I think he's in the he doesn't care. He's got 2 first-round picks. Trading Kyler for this other guy, Ward, or whoever it is he has, wasn't really the best. And it's just super unfortunate, right? We play our games here in FML. This is like the second or third force win that Kuzi's given out. Unacceptable. It really is. Jags-Dolphins. Force win for Dolphins. But let's not get it twisted. This is probably Malibu's first force win given out in ever, maybe. Maybe ever. And that's because my man is moving. He's got spiral staircases now. Okay, so let me tell you something. I got a spiral staircase outside. Goes from the outside, from the pool, to the upstairs on the outside. They're not as cool as they look. Because now you walk in like in a circle, and it's more steps. It's horrible. I'm not a fan. I try not to use that thing anytime I can't do it. I'd rather just come inside and walk up the regular stairs. Spiral staircase looks better than what it is. I don't like them. Best of luck to you in your spiral staircase. Let me know what you think. So Jaguars are going to lose this one, but it doesn't affect them. Big game for the Dolphins, though. Big pickup here for the Dolphins because they're trying to keep pace with Buffalo. Buffalo still has a lead here in the division. And let's get into Buffalo. Buffalo blasting the Jets. The Jets' playoff hopes are bleak. They be bleak. Big trouble. Buffalo up 14-7 at the half, and they pull away in the second quarter to kind of put the game away. 3 turnovers from the Jets. You can't win a game with turning the ball over so many times. Great balance from the Bills, 127 on the ground, 152 in the air. The Jets can't get anything on the ground. They got Ngannou at running back, but he's not a guy. They're going to have to figure out a way to get a better running back and get something going. Because Ngannou, if I looked at his stats, he's got to be averaging like 30, 40 yards a game. He's not doing well. Josh Allen, 163, 2 touchdowns, a nice, safe game for him. Good job for Josh Allen, 13 of 18. He does enough to win. Doesn't need to. If he needs to air it out, he will. He just didn't need to this game. Kyle Trask, because once again, Trevor Lawrence sitting because of suspension. How many games have the Jets lost because of suspension? How many violations have the Jets had this season, last season? Last season, they had a late season violation, which led into Trevor Lawrence being suspended. This season, he gets suspended again. The Jets organization is just imploding on themselves with these suspensions and giving away games, key games. Now, I don't know if they'd have beat Buffalo anyway, but I'm going to tell you something. Kyle Trask ain't the guy that should be under center. It has nothing to do with the Bills. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It has to do with the way that the Jets are playing in certain games. They're getting busted, not doing things that are within the rules of the game. Kyle Trask has got to play for it. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He throws the ball 32 times. Let's go to the rushing. 32 times. Ngannou, 10 for 29. Elliott, 14 for 91. So good job by Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, you let Kyle Trask throw it 32 times and you ran it 10. That's tough. I mean, that's just a bad game plan from the Jets. Because in my mind, backup quarterback means I've got to find a way to not have him throw as many times. I got to find a way to run the ball or manufacture something. They don't do that. They don't do that. 10 of 29. He gets his 10 runs, 11th from a guy who don't care. They lose the game. Let's go to the receiving. Bills, A.J. Wallace, good game for him. 5 for 69. Right, Elliott Molds. None of the guys really had to have their normal deep game throws where they were able to dissect the defenses. Bills just methodically handle this game. They win it. Let's go to the Jets. So the Jets, they're just enamored with this double tight end set right now. They love it. Everything's about the tight ends. They got 12 catches out of, 12 catches for the tight end position. Only one receiver has one in Scary Terry, and then Nguanu digs in the running back. They're enamored with the double tight, but they're throwing interceptions. They're not putting up enough points. This is a big problem for the Jets because what started off as oh man, hey, they're using both tight ends. We don't know what to do. We're confused. As the season goes on, everybody knows it's about Oliver and Albert O. There's no mystery now. You got Scary Terry deep. You got Albert O and Oliver eating up the short to the middle. What else do you want me to tell you? Okay, so as much as Asian loves to scout everybody else and give everybody the information on everybody, he's giving the information to everybody else, and he's not adjusting his game plan and his style. He's going to have to figure something else out because the current plan constructed, Trevor Lawrence or no Trevor Lawrence, everybody's biting in on it now. Everybody. 31-10. They only scored 10 points. The Jets lose it. Bills, big win, AFC East. Let's keep it going. Titans Saints. Big prime. Big prime. Malls, Tennessee. Tennessee, 107 yards of offense. Oh my goodness. This is embarrassing. The Saints, not really known for their defense. I mean, I think they're a good team. I play them enough. And I always give credit to Prime in being a tough user. It's just a consistency that hurts him. He puts it together for this game and just embarrasses Tennessee. 20 minutes time of possession versus 11. They just dominate the game. Let's dig into it. Kyler Murray, 205, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 13 of 14. Great job by Kyler Murray. Tremendous. What is this? Ryan Tannehill. So Tennessee completely given up on Chad Edwards. Ryan Tannehill, 2 of 4. 4 attempts. And in one of the he gets sacked. 2 of 4 for 42. Let's go to the Russian. The Saints, Gibson, 19 for 81. They dominate over there. What is Tennessee doing? What is Tennessee doing? So the Titans, 19 rushes, right? And then only 4 passes. So they're underneath the 25 plays limit here. But what are you doing? Why are you running Ryan Tannehill? What is going on here? This is embarrassing. Because now, listen, you're not being sim. You're not. Nobody is running Ryan Tannehill 9 times for 31. You got 2 fumbles. You get what you deserve. You get blown out. You get what you deserve. I don't know what's going on here. I think that the Titans are just, and this is what happens in a lot of leagues. It happens in FML. Guys get tired. They feel good about themselves at the beginning of the season. They win the first game of the new season. I'm different. I'm back. Then it goes about to week 11 or 12 that we're in right now. They don't want no piece of this anymore. They're like, oh, man, I need to get to that draft already. Where's the off season? That's what they're looking at. Man, you see this guy in the scouting? Oh, man, I'm going to get me a great quarterback or whatever. Because the current season is just once again gone bad. The Titans have just completely checked out. That you have Ryan Tannehill running read option, you should fire yourself. Because that is horrible. Let's get into the receiving here. Saints. Junior Glover, tight end, 5 of 62 for a touchdown. Nate Coffey. Who is this? No idea who this is. It's a halfback, 1 for 43. Good for him. Perry Atkins, 2 for 51. And I mean, listen, you can't really dig into this too much because the Saints dominated this game and they owned it off top. Brandon Cook's the only receiver, 2 for 42. What an embarrassing game for the Titans. What an embarrassing game. This is great win for Prime, but embarrassing for Tennessee and the AFC South as a whole. Malibu, Mancha, Colts, you just became less of a division because of what Tennessee just did. This is really bad. 31-0. The skunk, I would have had him hand the sticks over middle third quarter, called it a wrap. Saints win it. Oh, ooh. LA Rams, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. LA Rams coming off a loss to the Carolina Panthers, trying to get right back on track. Tampa losing to Minnesota, trying to get back in the win column. And it's the Rams that win this game 28-13 after being up 14-0 in the first, and then extending and not extending it, but keeping that at 14-3 going into the fourth. A little bit of fireworks in the fourth quarter, but wasn't enough. Tampa was down just too much. To only manage 3 points in the first 3 quarters from Tampa is tough because Tampa's an offensive team for the most part. The Rams, listen, all the arrows their way. They forced 3 turnovers. Let's dig more into it. Dak Prescott, better game from him. 310 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The 2 interceptions don't come back to bite him. But Jordan Love, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Gets sacked 3 times. Jordan Love, and I mean, you hate to say this, Jordan Love is the answer for the Buccaneers. There is no other answer. There's no other quarterback. They gave up too much. He's already either a superstar or an X Factor. I don't remember what he is. This is who they're going to ride with the rest of the way. So what is the problem? Is it Jordan Love's inconsistency? Is it the offensive coordinator? There's too many games where it's Jordan Love, 5 touchdowns, no picks, followed by no touchdowns, 3 picks, 1 touchdown, 4 picks. Jordan Love has got to get it together and get some consistency here, whether that's the play calling or whether that's the player itself. Tampa needs to figure that out because this is at. I think Tampa does get into the playoffs. They're a first round exit if they cannot figure it out against better defensive teams. And the Rams are a good defensive team, and they're going to play teams like this similar if they're able to make it to the playoffs. Let's get into the Russian. Corum, Ronald Jones, both of these guys, listen, these guys love to establish the run first. They both do a decent job. Corum winning the battle there. So then we have to go to the next thing, which is the receiving. Buccaneers, Ayuk, 5 for 69. Godwin, 3 for 66. Howard, Duvernay. This game, they finally get a few more guys involved, but it just doesn't pan out. The Rams defense too much. Jordan Love throwing the ball too many times to the opposite team. Rams, the tight end, Jacob Harris, 7 for 196 and 3 touchdowns. He has a monster day. Estrada and Bateman both help out a little bit. But this is a big win for the Rams to stay on the path for possibly that 2 seed. Depends on if the Panthers fall. Depends on the Minnesota Vikings. Right now, they're fighting for a 2, 3, 4 seed, and there's a big difference between those. So Tampa struggling, dropped 2 in a row. That puts them in a tougher spot to win the South, but still in a decent spot for the playoffs. Kansas City, Denver. Kansas City, too much offense. Right? 500 yards of offense. Man. And once again, this is what I'm telling you. He can throw the ball for almost 400 yards, and he's still going to get his 100 yards rushing. You cannot just drop 8 against Kansas City and think that's going to work. Patty Mahomes, 400 in the air, 4-1, 18 to 20, 85%. The guy's amazing. Harold Baskett, rookie campaign, 57%, 1-2. Ocho's defense a lot better than people think, but Kansas City clearly an offensive team. Let's go to Russian. Vince Harold. Big day for him, but it just doesn't. It's just not enough to stop the offensive juggernaut that is Kansas City. Benson is doing a great job here. 20 rushes for 96 yards. So not only do you control the air, you control the ground, you control the clock. Kansas City is playing at a high level right now. Um, they're making a run. I think that they're making a run to try to still win the division, especially with the Raiders faltering as of late. Receiving, Broncos, no threat. Judy, Noah Fant, 461. Jerry Judy, 267. I mean, they just do not have enough explosive talent here to match with the Chiefs or almost anybody else. On the other hand, McMoney, the tight end. They have so many weapons here. Benjamin McMoney, 4 for 172. Isabella. This is with Tyreek only having one catch for 43. And Kobe McMoney, who had a huge game prior, 3 for 38. There's too many weapons here on Kansas City. I don't know how you defend all of them. The answer is you don't. You've got to find a way to try to outscore them. And that's not an easy task. 39-28. Kansas City wins it. Puts them in a good spot. Denver, they're in trouble still. Man, and in a big, I'm not gonna say shocker, but in a game that is a tough one for me to digest. The Raiders. And listen, at this point, I think I'm gonna blame the show. I'm gonna blame the show for the Raiders dropping a couple games here because I have said Raiders are gonna win the division. The LA Shelbys, no way, they're fake. Well, clearly the Shelbys are watching the show. They're not. They're happy. They're angry with us. Um, the Raiders always winning in the free agency market, always winning. In the trade department. They do. They have constructed a roster that's so good. For them to lose this game to a division rival, is catastrophic. The Raiders had a game last week. They lost it to KC. Here we go, another back-to-back division game. They lose it, 20-13. The Raiders had a chance, if they had won both of those games, to pretty much cement their way into the division crown. Easy money. They have now made it way harder on themselves. They only gave up 137 yards of offense and still lost the game. 3 turnovers. Let's get into it. 44 passing yards from Herbert. You got to be kidding me. Whoa, my goodness. Let's get into this. Ryan Leaf. And once again, I'm going to blame the show. The Raiders organization was very angry with the show, saying, hey, I'm not angry with the show. They're saying, hey, what about Ryan Leaf? Let's talk about touchdowns to interception ratios. Let's talk about, look how great Ryan Leaf is doing. And ever since that happened, ever since we had the segment on here about touchdowns to interception ratios, Ryan Leaf has been horrible. Horrible. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and turning the ball over. 9 of 18 at 50%. Justin Herbert, even though he's so bad, even though Herbert is so bad, because he only throws 1 interception, they're still able to win the game. Rushing-wise, Shelby, 25 and 96. A lot of clock here, running because of the run game. 15 of 82 for Aaron Jones. Receiving-wise, the Chargers, they barely threw. And when they did, it was not good. The Raiders, where's Ruggs? Where's Waller? Waller, 1 for 8. Ruggs, 2 for 44. He's got a touchdown, but, that's just not enough. Your leading receiver is Aaron Jones out of the backfield. This is a tough loss for the Raiders. This really hurts them in the playoffs. Not getting in, but for the division, and the AFC West has turned into the wildest division right now. Carolina, New York Giants. Carolina wins the game 30-13. They were up 20-3 at the half, pretty much dominated the half and then coasted the rest of the way. Both of those teams scoring 10 points in the second half. Giants with Dobbins, 24 yards on the ground. Carolina did a good job. Passing-wise, it's about the same. 1 turnover from the Giants. Let's get a little bit more into it. Mac Jones, another Mac Jones day. 259 in the air, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. 16 and 19, 84%. It's a great day for Mac Jones. Another great day. It's what he does. Joe Burrow, Not a bad day. He's just not going to outduel Mac Jones. 185, 1-1, 15 for 21. One of those balls, a 75-yard bomb to the running back. So you take that away, and it's 14 completions for 110. The Panthers did a really good job keeping everything in front of them, but unfortunately they did let a big one go, and the Giants took advantage. Let's get into the run game. CMC, 21 for 113, average over 5 a carry. Dobbins struggled, 10 for 27. The Panthers' run D really clicked in here, made some things happen. Giants, their leading receiver was J.K. Dobbins, 6 for 99. One of those was a 75-yard bomb, right? It was a great play. He was one-on-one a linebacker. Linebacker was not going to get him. But look at everybody else. Ingram, 2 for 27. Tony, 2 for 16. Hopkins, 12 years in the league, 4 for 30. Nobody able to get any separation. Panthers DBs and core did a really good job. Let's go to the Panthers, though. Tremble, 5 for 103 and a touchdown. McCaffrey with 5. DJ Moore, Luke Cage, Robbie Anderson. Mostly Tremble eating up the middle of the field. McCaffrey doing a good job, too. And DJ Moore, 2 for 50. And let's just talk about this game real quick. Okay? Because I forgive, but I don't forget. Carolina Panthers, New York Giants. This was the divisional matchup. This was supposed to be the divisional matchup. Winner of this goes to NFC Championship. That was last season. Unfortunately, the Carolina Panthers decided to take a vacation. They decided to go and hang out with Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse says, it's me or nobody. Carolina Panthers chose Mickey Mouse, and they lose a game to the Giants without ever stepping on the field. So let's just recap these last 2 games that the Panthers and Giants have played. Last season, before the playoffs, so probably about week 15, you can look it up on Neon Sports, Panthers win it 30-6. This season, Panthers win it 30-13. The Panthers have now outscored the Giants in 2 games, 60-19. So you average that out, 30 to 9.5. That's what the Panthers winning is, 30 to 9.5. And you're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me, Panthers, well, they wouldn't have won that game. We would have won that game most likely, barring something crazy happening. It is what it is. We're moving on. Forgive. I'm not forgetting. Carolina wins this one 30-13. Should have been Carolina in the NFC Championship. And then if we lose there, it is what it is. But 30-13, we win this one. We had this game marked on the calendar, circled. If we see him again, which is highly possible, 2 seed, 7 seed, we'll do it again. Moving on. Browns-Niners, we're waiting for this game. It's a bum game. Browns are going to win this game by a lot. Rebels trying to go for a dev. If it's an offensive dev, he might get it. If it's a defensive dev, ain't no way. Browns play too clean. This game is tonight at some time. Nobody's going to watch it because nobody cares. Moving on. Bears-Lions, Battle of the Bums. Detroit wins it 29-22. Chicago just, cannot figure it out this season. And they haven't been able to figure it out since the NFC Championship appearance. They've really struggled. Detroit wins it 29-22. Explosive second quarter is the difference. They outscore Chicago 23-7 in the second. And Chicago just can't rebound. Let's keep going. Justin Fields, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Probably one of his better games in quite some time. Unfortunately, it still results in a loss. That's unfortunate. And Detroit, Matt Stone, 54%. That's about his thing. 1 for 1, 272. Rushing wise, Betts with a good running game. 17 for 95. Chicago, they go to run the ball. They're a running team, but they just don't. because they're so bad at passing, and because they have zero offensive weapons, you could just really sell out on the run. That's what's happening. The Bears need to figure something else out in the offseason. Mooney, look at that. Look at getting Mooney involved. Look at Kirk getting involved. Quality receiver, speed receiver. These other guys, Cabinda, the fullback. I mean, oh my goodness. You got Mooney, who we recognize as a good receiver. Kirk is a good Madden receiver. Everybody else is god awful. Got to figure a way to get Cole Kmet. I mean, you can't just feed one guy and forget about everybody else. Multiple guys have got to eat here. Bears don't know how to do that. Lions, Sean Craig. Michael Thomas, Hawkinson. I love the tight end play here from the Lions, and I love Michael Thomas getting involved. It's a great job from Detroit. They end up getting the victory here. NFC North goes at it, but none of these wins are going to matter and affect the Packers and the Vikings being at the top. Philadelphia, Dallas. Once again, Philadelphia finding ways to squeak out wins. Finding ways to not exactly be dominant, but to win the game. And I think that's all you need to do. You need to find ways to win the game. Philly continues to do it. The Cowboys finally on their way back from vacation. Hope they had a great time. The results stay the same. So you probably would have played better and put up more points had you just given them a forced win and not even played. 21-7, they lose. 4 turnovers from the Cowboys. So Billy Banks is back, baby. Or Billy Baker's back. And by Billy Baker being back means he's back to throwing interceptions. He is god-awful. The Cowboys, must be looking at the Rams and Dak Prescott throwing for so many yards and so many touchdowns saying, what have we done? Billy Baker loses it. They throw three interceptions. Aaron Rodgers, very un-Aaron Rodgers-like, throws 2 of them. 50% versus 37 throws for Billy Baker. Disgusting. What is Dallas doing? Philly to the bowl. Is it Philly to... Hey, it could be. Listen, if Philly doesn't get to the bowl this year, they never will. They never will. Philly has Aaron Rodgers playing at a high level. They've got Josh Jacobs, inside zone, halfback dive. Very tough to stop. The receiving core, Travis Kelce in his 50th year in the league, still contributing. If they can't make it to the bowl this year, they're never going to make it. Because Aaron Rodgers is going to retire soon or something's going to happen. He's going to get worse. If they can't make it this year, then it was a heck of a year. Great job on Philly for selling out, trying to get to the Super Bowl. But if they don't do it this year, they're not going to be able to do it ever. Philadelphia, speaking of the running game, Josh Jacobs, 14 for 74, averaging 5 yards a carry. Look at all the broken tackles. 4 broken tackles, 35 yards after contact. This guy's almost got more yards after contact than Cam Akers has altogether. Okay? Josh Jacobs is a problem, man. And Philly is using their entire team and roster well. Ooh! The Green Bay Packers organization coming out and saying the only reason, this is some people saying the only reason the Eagles are where they are right now is because they're in a 3rd place schedule. Ooh. Now listen, that could be. Some people say the only reason the Rams are in the spot they're in is because they're in a 4th place schedule. Schedule matters. In certain divisions with certain users, the schedule matters, okay? Some guys only get to play the 1st place schedule all the time. It just is what it is. So you're used to playing that caliber. Some guys, they're playing the 4th place schedule all the time, and they still stink. Some guys, they're probably a mid-tier, upper mid-tier. If they get that lower schedule, man, they're going to rattle off those 10, 11 wins. Maybe. Could be. Either way. Even if Philly is only doing this because of a 3rd place schedule, you know what Philly's doing? They're learning how to win. They're learning how to win the tight, close games. And that's what they're doing. So you got to give credit to Philly right here. Is that going to equal a 1 seed for them? Maybe. 2 seed? Maybe. Who knows? But Philly going to the playoffs, Philly most likely they're going to win the NFC East. Easy. Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, 4 for 66. Trent McKee, Austin Hooper, Amari Cooper. This is, some great receivers, but you got a bad quarterback trying to get him the ball. Really bad quarterback trying to get the ball. You know, um, so this is a tough game for the Cowboys on their return from vacation. Same result. You should have stayed in Cabo wherever you were. Eagles win it 21-7. Um, and listen, when we talk about the schedules, you got your first place schedule, you got your fourth place schedule. What's the difference? So number one, let's talk about the common games. Common games are you've got your division opponents, simple, period. You got your division opponents. Everybody's going to play that, no matter which one you're in. Then number two, you're going to play one NFC conference or one NFC division and one AFC division, and it's all going to be the same. The difference is about 3-4 games, which is the first place guy plays all the first place division winners. And the fourth place guys plays all the fourth place basement guys. Those are 3 games right there at least. Where if you're a guy who got lucky and won a division, now you're playing the first place schedule, you could easily go 0-3 there and lose all those. All right? If you are you somehow got the fourth place division because you was on vacation, you was doing whatever, but you're a better user, now you're playing the bottom guy in every division. That's 3 games, easy. So now you've just flipped 3-game a swing between that first place and fourth place schedule. So we all pretty much play the same schedule except for a handful of games. At the end of the day, it depends what division you're going against too. Are you playing the AFC North? Are you playing the NFC North? Are you playing the NFC East, the South? Or are you playing the AFC East, the AFC South, the NFC West, right? It depends what division you're playing too, man. You could play a tough division. You could play that NFC North and NFC or AFC North. That's like 6 losses right there you might take. So you can play the AFC East and the NFC West. That's probably 6 wins. So a lot of little factors there. At the end of the day, yes. And listen, right now, everybody's schedule is tough, man. It is what it is. FML is tough, but the cream always rises to the top. Last game of this week, Seattle and the Falcons. John is back. Oh, Lord. And I watched some of this game. I really did. It pains me, but I watched some of this game. Falcons score 3 in the first quarter, get shut out the rest of the game. Old John is back. There was a lot of throws here into coverage, a lot of going back foot, throw 'em ups. You can't do that against anybody and think that you're going to be able to win games. Seattle, they had a fumble, scoop, and score because Deshaun Watson couldn't slide. Mac Jones has that same problem. But this is an ugly game from Atlanta. 3 points only against not really an offensive team or defensive team. Russell Wilson, 174, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 13-17. And here comes Deshaun Watson, 198, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But a lot of lob 'em ups, a lot of bad decisions. Marlon Mack and Snell both go to run the ball. I mean, it really just came down to some turnovers. The Falcons, Devontae Adams, I mean, Kyle Pitts 2 for 26, Ridley 3 for 16, and it's not that they weren't targeted deep, because they were targeted deep. It's that when you're throwing deep balls into coverage or you're throwing deep balls on the back foot and lobbing it up, they're not going to be successful. Only player that got things going was Devontae Adams. There's got to be a better thing for the Falcons to take advantage of these players consistently. The Falcons are just, they started off good. They felt good about themselves. They talk a little trash. They felt good. They're still in there talking because that's what the Falcons do. They're oblivious to reality. But the Falcons have just dropped off. They are who they are, which is a sub-500 team. Let's go to the Seahawks. Marlon Mack has more catches than DK Metcalf. Someone explain that to me. Gross. But it's enough. Seattle wins the game. They don't really need to be an offensive explosive team because defensively they hold up, giving up only 3 points. 30-3 Seattle. An unbelievable win for them because it probably shouldn't have been that easy. I'm not saying Seattle shouldn't have won, but for Atlanta to only give up 3 points, or for Atlanta to only score 3 points is horrible. Horrible, horrible. 4 turnovers. Bad job in Atlanta. So that's it. Hey, listen, there's your recap, but we got more. We got to keep going. Number 1, let's go ahead. Let's get into some standings. Let's look at these playoffs, man. The playoff brackets aren't out yet. They're not out yet. They should be out next week. Week 13, they'll be out. But let's go ahead and let's dig into the divisions. The Browns, still in first, undefeated. Right now, averaging 35 points a game and only giving up 18. They're beating everybody by double digits. Okay. The Ravens 9-3. We told everybody this is how it was going to shake out. Ravens in the 2 spot. Bengals at 7-4. Even with David Cummings and his horrible quarterback play, the Bengals defense has allowed them to be at 7-4 and in a decent spot here for a possible playoff bid. Steelers 5-6. I mean, they're inconsistent. They have some games in which they play really well. Scott Hall looks like a solid quarterback. Then they have some games where Scott Hall looks god awful. They're 5-6. It's probably about right. Steelers are going to need to run the table, or at least only drop 1 or 2 more if they have any chance of overcoming the Bengals and sneaking into the playoffs. AFC South, a disgrace of a division. An utter disgrace. Jags easily handling this game or this division. They're 9-2. They're giving up the forced win because my man is moving into a palace. So kudos to him, man. And he gonna come back feeling good, but he gonna feel like $1 million, right? So stand by for all you guys. You about to get beaten in 8K projection TV, whatever he's got going on now, in a lazy boy couch, whatever he's got, right? Kudos to Mal, but he gonna beat you $1 million man style, all right? Colts, horrible. Texans, horrible. Titans, horrible. At least the Colts, they don't really talk a lot. They know that they're not good. The Texans, they only talk when they win. They talk about, oh yeah, remember that one time I beat you in that one Madden, in that one season? Remember, because I've been to the playoffs. Remember, that's when they talk. Other than that, they are almost non-existent from the chat. And I would be too at 4-7. Titans, 2-9. They got Tannehill read option over here. It ain't working. They're averaging less than 15 points a game. And the Tannehill read option will do that to you. Jaguars winning that. Man, here we go. AFC East. Man, you want to give it to Boogie. You try so hard. But he's 6-5. The Dolphins at 5-5. It's still a race. Now the Jets, I think they're out of it. Losing a couple games. They just lost to the Bills. That's a tough one. The Dolphins, who were 1-5, have rattled off 4 in a row. This is unbelievable. They're back in the mix. Let's get into this division. The Bills at 3-1. So they've only lost once in the division. Dolphins at 2-2. Jets at 3-2. So, I mean, that's a great division record for them. It really is. But we're going to see what happens here. It's really going to come down to the Bills and the Dolphins. Only one team will make it out of here. The other team is going home. They're not going to be in the playoffs. Unless both of them find a way to win all the rest of their games. One of these teams is moving on. The other one's gone. They'll get a home game at the 4 seed, and they'll probably have to face the Ravens. AFC West. I'm looking at 3 playoff teams here. 3 of them. Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs. The problem is they're all so inconsistent. Raiders had a chance to go ahead and pretty much wrap up the division because they had back-to-back games against the Chargers and Chiefs. They lost them both. Chargers, 8-4 right now. They're 8-4, having given up more points than they've scored. Unbelievable. Guys, rationalize this in your head. They're giving up more points than they've scored. They're 8-4. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Chargers they're finding ways to win. When they lose, apparently it's ugly. When they win, they get it done. They're 8-4. The Chiefs offense over 100 more points scored. Right, the Raiders over 100 more points scored. In the end, the only thing that matters is wins. This is a 3-horse race here going into these final weeks. Let's look at the division. The Chiefs at 4-1. They hold the key here, but they've got to rattle off a couple more wins. The Chargers at 3-2 and the Raiders at 2-2. Raiders still with 2 more games in the division. We'll see how this pans out, man. Like I said, I think all 3 of these guys are going to get into the playoffs. I really do. Because there's nobody else from the AFC South or AFC East to challenge. But maybe they won't. Bengals got to fight for a spot too. So let's just go and talk about the AFC then real quick while we're doing it. Here we go. Browns, your clear 1 seed. Especially with the Jaguars giving out the forced win because they're moving, going on to bigger, better things. They'll go to 9-3. Browns with a 3-game lead, 1 seed. It's over. Book it. Jaguars 9-3 is what they're about to be. The next threat they have is coming from the NFC or the AFC West. They're both at 8-4, 7-5. They don't catch them. So the Jags are in number 2. Lock it in. The Ravens, because they're in the Browns division, the only reason why, they're a 5 seed. Book it, right? And I think what's going to happen is you got the Bills and the Dolphins. Winner of this. It's going to be the Bills in my mind, unless the Dolphins figure something else out, right? Because the Bills and Dolphins, both of those teams still have to play the Panthers. They still have to play some other teams. There's some tough games still left for these guys. Somewhere the Dolphins got to figure out a way to beat the Panthers, or the Bills have to figure out a way to beat the Panthers. And if one guy can win that game, the other guy loses, they're going to get right. If they both win the game, it doesn't matter. If they both lose the game, it doesn't matter. The Bills and Dolphins, one of those guys to figure out how do they beat the Panthers? How do they beat someone else of a common interest that they can flip the score, that they can flip the record on? We'll see. So Bills probably going to get the 4 seed, or Dolphins. They'll play the Ravens. Ravens will bounce them like a child on their lap and boot them out of the playoffs quick, most likely. And then you got everybody here fighting for that 6 and 7 seed. Bengals, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders. This is a tough one. It's a hard one to call right now. We're going to have to go ahead and look into some schedules and see who's playing who. And let's do it. Why don't we do that? Why don't we get into the AFC West? And why don't we look at some schedules right now? This is what the people want. This is what they need. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead. Let's start with the Raiders. Let's start with the Raiders. Who do they have left? Ravens. Uh-oh. Not a good one. That's a tough one. So we'll say that one. We're just gonna pencil it an L because I think the Raiders can beat a lot of teams. Broncos, that's a win. Chiefs, what a game. That's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be for a big one. Raiders, Giants, man, really depends on which Vic shows up. Raiders, Colts, they should win that game. So the only threat they have is they got the Ravens as a threat, and the Chiefs, the Ravens and the Giants are the threat. The Chiefs, that's the big game. That's the game everybody needs to watch. It's a Monday night game at 8:30. You got to make sure you tune in for that one. Raiders, if they can't beat the Broncos and Colts, they don't deserve to get in. Okay? Let's go to the Chiefs. Who do the Chiefs have? Texans. That should be a win. Giants or the Chiefs with that offense, I think they win that one. I think they win this one. Uh-oh, and uh-oh. This is where we've got a problem here with the Chiefs. Raiders, can't even explain to you how big of a game this is going to be. Huge game, Monday night game. Make sure you tune in for this one, Week 16. Jaguars and Vikings. This one honestly depends. You got the Chiefs that are going to be fighting for their lives. You got the Jags. They'll be penciling at the 2 seed. I don't think they're really going to care that much at this point. Do they sit people Week 17? I don't know. Vikings could be not fighting for their playoff life, could be fighting for the division. Could be a meaningful game here. Do the Vikings sit people because the division's wrapped up? Do they play people because they have to play in the division? But the Vikings, this game could be a tough one. Week 18, coming down to the wire. Anybody could win this one. DZ defense versus Kansas City offense. Man, I'm there for it. Can't wait. So this should be an easy one for Ocho. Depends which Vic shows up. Colts easy one. Everybody going to beat the Colts out here. Let's go to the Chargers. Who do the Chargers have? So right now you would say Raiders and Chiefs have about an equal schedule. Oh, that's a win. That's an easy. Oh man, wow. The Chargers have an easy schedule. Bears with a win. That's a win. Can't drop that one. Eagles. Got to give the Eagles the advantage right now. They're playing really hot. Cowboys. That's a win. Broncos. That's a win. Bengals week 18. Bengals are going to be playing desperate. Chargers might be playing desperate. If the Chargers lose this, and this could be for the playoff spot. For Debo, this could be for the playoffs. But in my mind right now, the Chargers have the easiest schedule out of everybody in the AFC West. If they lose any of these games, minus the Eagles game, they don't deserve to win it. Very interesting. At this point, you would almost say that you could take the Chargers and pencil them in as the winner. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, you know what? Let's go to the Bengals. Let's see what the Bengals. That's for playoffs. Yeah, Doc, that's for playoffs. The only thing that might be an issue is what if the Chargers already have that locked up, right? Because you've got the Raiders and Chiefs that have got to play each other. You've got a couple other teams that, they're on the Raiders and Chargers that are tough games. Let's see what the Bengals have left. Uh-oh. Dolphins should be a win. Jets should be a win. Ravens, probably an L. Vikings need that game. L. Browns, I could see them sitting everybody. But is that really what Mac's going to do in week 17? I don't know. If Browns plays his people, L. This is the game. Man, we have got some big games coming up. Chargers, Bengals, Raiders, Chiefs. Huge games that are coming up to decide this division. You guys got to make sure that you are tuned in and watching. We're going to keep everybody apprised of which games are the ones to watch. It could be great. All right. Let's get back into the standings here. We're going to go over the NFC now. So, bottom line AFC, certain spots are already spoken for. Certain spots aren't going to move. The biggest thing is going to be between the Bengals and then the whole AFC West. It's going to be fun to watch. Let's go to the North. Vikings. Oh, Debo. Ocho on fire. Yup. Oof. And let's look at the NFC now. Let's look at the NFC now. Vikings at 8-3, Packers at 7-4. So right now you would have to say Vikings, they're in the driver's seat as far as wins go, rattling off 6 in a row to win the division. Packers at 7-4, they're fighting for a playoff spot. I could easily see them anywhere from the 5 to the 7. Not really sure. Lions, Bears are of no threat. NFC South, Panthers starting to pull away. This was a tough division in the beginning, but the cream always rises to the top. The Falcons have dropped 3 in a row. Buccaneers, 2 in a row. So at one point, each team was 5-2. Each team was 5-2, getting after it, right? And now the Panthers have continued on a win streak. Buccaneers have dropped 2 tough ones to the Vikings and the Rams, both playoff teams. The Falcons losing to anybody and everybody who just picks up a controller now. They just got smacked by the Seahawks. And the Saints, who started 0-7, are now 3-1 in their last 4. So they're picking up momentum. Panthers, probably around that 2 seed, maybe 3, depends on the Vikings and the Rams. Buccaneers and the Packers have an identical record at 7-4. These are both playoff teams. We'll see where the seeding shakes out. Eagles. Nobody saw this coming, which is Eagles at 10-1. Giants and football team at 6-5, 6-6. Football team really struggling. dropping 2 in a row. Giants just getting uh, um, beat by the Carolina Panthers 30-13. Tough game for them. Cowboys back from vacation, same result. They've dropped 9 in a row. They started off 2-0. They felt really good about themselves. Then they realized that they were the Cowboys. They're done. Eagles in the driver's seat for the 1 seed. Giants football team, they're fighting. They're going to be scrapping. NFC West, the Rams first place, 9-2. Big win against the Buccaneers right there. Cardinals at 5-5, but they're giving out another forced win. And once again, there's 2 things I think that are happening here. Number 1, the Cardinals are just over this cycle. They're over it. Some people they fold to pressure. Some people embrace it. Okay, he's having a horrible time in the playoffs. I don't think he wants to go to the playoffs to add to that record. You know what I mean? We have a similar record. You have a couple guys. We've only won maybe one playoff game. We've got bounced a few years. Asterisks on the last one. Asterisks. But I don't think he wants to add to that. I don't think he wants to pressure. Then you've got the added draft pick, so he wants another high draft pick. Cardinals have given out about 2 to 3 forced wins this season. I don't remember if it's 3, but it's at least 2. And games in which he should compete or win, right? Not really sure. They're going to drop to 5-6. Seahawks and Niners, they're out of the picture here. This is an interesting one. Let's go to the NFC, though. Let's look at the playoff picture before they release it starting next week. Eagles, number 1 seed. They've won 10 in a row, right? 10 in a row. Now, you could say third place schedule. Who knows? But they are 10 in a row. Panthers at 9-2. The Rams at 9-2. So the Panthers hold that head-to-head win. That keeps us ahead. Look at the Vikings, though, at 8-3. So they're right there. The Vikings easily could skip to the number 2 seed and make the Rams and Panthers both go down. Buccaneers, Packers at 7-4. Minus something catastrophic, I think they both get in. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oof. Buccaneers, Packers are both going to get in. I see that happening. I don't know who's going to be the 5. I don't know who's going to be the 6. I don't think it matters. The 5 seed's going to play the 4. So whoever that is, you got to play, right? Probably the Vikings, Rams, or Panthers. Whoever's the 6, you got to play the Vikings, Rams, or Panthers. The NFC is all about playing everybody. Nobody's going to get the Eagles because the Eagles are going to be the 1 seed most likely. Giants football team and Falcons and Cardinals fighting for the number 7. Cardinals are force winning their way out of there. They're doing it on purpose. They're tanking. The Falcons, they're just losing. There's nothing they can do about it. They are who they are. Football team and Giants is who's left. So here's what we're going to do. Let's look at the football team and Giants and see which of these 2 has the easier schedule or the more reliable schedule. Right now, the Giants coming off that loss. Football team coming off a loss. Let's dig into these guys here. And we're looking at the football team and the Giants. We're going to start with the Giants first. Let's go to what they got left. Cowboys, it's got to be a win. Chiefs, tough. Vikings, tough. Lions, got to be a win. Raiders, man, both of these guys, they're so hot when they're hot, cold when they're cold. Hotter team wins, less mistakes wins. And the Dolphins. Dolphins and Giants both could be fighting for their lives for playoffs, so it could be a great game. Or it could be the Giants that are the only ones fighting for their lives and Dolphins could be gone. Not really sure. But right now you've got 1 win, 2 wins. I'm going to say 3 wins that are probably in the book. There's 3 that are up for grabs. Chiefs, Vikings, and Raiders. Any one of those, I call him the underdog. So 3-3 to finish that out. Let's look at the football team. Let's see what they got left. Eagles. Is this a game that they can steal right here? They've got the Eagles week 13, right? Then a bye week. The Bills, tough game. Broncos, easy. Eagles again, and then a tough game, and then an easy game. So They've got 3 tough games left. 2 against the Eagles, 1 against the Bills. Washington needs to win those division games because that might be the tiebreaker that they need against the Giants. Plus, if the Eagles handle them twice, then it's a wrap and it's over. That'll be it for the Washington football team. One of these guys is probably going to miss the playoffs. It is a tough one. All right, so let's just go ahead. Let's take a look at next week's matchups. What is going on next week? Which is the games to watch? Which are the games that we don't care? Chargers, Bears. We don't care. Chargers got to win this one. They got all the momentum. Bears in big trouble. I don't see how the Chargers lose this. Bengals, Dolphins. Big game. Big game here. But this is like a 7-seed game, right? For the Dolphins, this is either you win the division or you're out. For the Bengals, it's either you get the 6 or 7 or you're out. So this is a huge game in Week 13 that I hope they realize is a big game. If they're watching the show, they should be paying attention here. Big game for Miami against the Bengals because this could come back to bite you. Make sure you watch it. Panthers, Bills. Panthers over here 9-2. They're in charge of their division. Buffalo Bills, they need to win this game in order to stay above the Dolphins. So I'm going to say a little bit of desperation on the Bills side and how they're going to play. Panthers, they're just going to try to do what they do. Not really a big game for them at all. So we'll see what happens. But the Bills need to find a way to try to win this one to keep their lead on the Dolphins. Browns, Jets. Browns. Falcons, Saints. I mean, we got to call it this is the turd bowl right here. This is it. This is a toilet bowl. This is big. The first winner of that was J-Dub. J-Dub got the win early in the season. Can J-Dub get the season sweep? Prime, if you're in the chat, I need to know right now. Does J-Dub get the sweep? Or are you saying no? Not only do I win big. I need to see this chat light up. I need to see it happen. I need to see Prime tell me, nah, man, my game. Easy game for me. I need to see it. I need to see it light up. We'll give him a second. It's a tough game, though. It's a fun game to watch. I mean, it's not going to have any effect on anything except for bragging rights and circus, and sometimes that's good enough. Giants, Cowboys. Giants got to win it. If they lose to the Cowboys, they are just they're just god awful, and they can't afford to. They're not going to make the playoffs. They don't deserve to. They got to win this game. Titans, Patriots. Nobody cares. Rams, Lions. Rams should win this game against the Detroit team. They've got to keep pack if they want to go ahead. Hell no. I don't know what the hell no means. Hell no, you're going to win? Hell no, you're not going to win? Hell no, you going to get Watson throwing 4 INTs. Uh-oh. Seems as though Prime is saying easy win for him. Saints defense too good. And even though Lattimore will be injured for it. Uh-oh. That's not good. Steelers, Vikings. Should be an easy win for the Vikings. Hashtag change of view. Raiders, Ravens. Big game here. Big game. We got a couple big games this week coming up after the advance later today. Raiders, Ravens. Raiders need this game bad. Ravens don't. But if the Raiders can steal this game, they can find a way to steal this game, they put themselves in a good spot. If they lose this one, then they've got a few more must-wins later on the schedule. Colts, Niners, don't care. Eagles football team. Must win for Washington. Must win. They got to win this game. The Eagles, for the Eagles to remain the Eagles and continue to play where they're at and say, oh, man, we're 10-1, we deserve it, you got to win these games. You've got a 6-6 Washington team. You're 10-1 in your division. You got to find a way to win this game, maybe even win it convincingly, just to let everybody know, hey, man, 3rd place, 4th place, schedule don't matter. This is my division. I own it. Eagles need to win this game. They need to win it convincingly. Washington needs to win the game. Otherwise, they're going to be sitting on the couch playing Elden Ring, which they're completely okay with. Cardinals, Buccaneers. Buccaneers need the game. So does Kuzi. The problem is I don't think Kuzi wants to have the game. I think Kuzi's going to find a way to tank it off to him and lose the game because he doesn't want. He's tanking. I don't know what else to tell you. This is the most obvious. This is the most obvious, not obvious tank job that I've seen in FML in quite some time. Okay, Texans Chiefs. Chiefs need to win it. Mancha, I mean, he can play spoiler. And you have to understand that Mancha can play well when he's feeling in his groove. So the biggest thing with Mancha is if he gets off to a good start, like in the first half, oh, he's in for the rest of the game. If he doesn't get off to a good start, then it's, oh, Madden got me. Him and Rebel are very similar. Oh, Madden got me. Oh, Madden, man, if it wasn't for Madden, I'd have won. Man, Madden took me out the game early. That's kind of like Mancha and Rebel. That's why they argue so much because they're so similar in that regard, right? If they don't start the game well, they usually just throw their controller. They say, oh, man, Madden. This is not my fault. Oh, it's not my fault I have a 65 overall quarterback. It's not my fault my secondary is like, 15 overall. So, you know, Chiefs and that offense, if Quan Alexander can play good defense, get a couple turnovers, Texans have a chance. If they can't, you're going to see the Texans kind of mail it in somewhere after the first half and just say, Madden got me again, and they'll call it a wrap. So those are next week's games, man. We got some good ones. Like I said, we got some good ones. Eagles football team. Raiders, Ravens. Giants, Cowboys, meh. Falcons, Saints, the best of the worst once again. Panthers, Bills, eh. That one, though, that'll be tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. PST. Make sure you tune in and you watch. Bengals, Dolphins. Big one. This is a huge Week 13 matchup that nobody realizes is going to have huge implications later on. You need to watch this game. Find out when it gets played. Need to watch this one because this is the one that could decide who gets in and who gets bounced. Listen, there we go. 2-hour mega show. Unbelievable. Great day for us. Great morning for everybody. Way to start your week on a Monday. Listen, if you watched already live, I know some of you did. Doc, Prime, Taco, I know some of you guys are in here, man. I appreciate you guys. If you're going to watch it later, make sure you hit the subscribe. Subscribe. No more commercials for you. All Aponte all the time. It's what you want. It's what you need. Subscribe, follow, get the alerts. Know when I'm coming on, man. You want to see it later on? Go to YouTube. It'll be on here forever, right? You want to go back later on. You want to say, oh, hey, Aponte, you had that show one time. You said that I wasn't in it because of this. Go on YouTube. Because I put all these things on YouTube. You can go back. You can clip it and say, see, I told you so. You said this and I proved you wrong. Do it. Prove me wrong. While you do that, like and subscribe it on YouTube, man. Appreciate you guys. I really do. I'm getting out of here. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'm gone.